Good afternoon to the 35 odd participants who have joined. As we are seeing people joining in, we will start the webinar in a couple of minutes. I know it's 2:58 and 2 minutes to go. Maybe we will start it around 3:02 or 2. And I hope my voice is clear. I'm just asking to any of those 43 participants out there. I hope my voice is audible and clear to you. You can text it in the chat box. And that's a request. Thank you, Mr. Manish Patel and Madhuri Devi and Mohan Raj and Annapurna and Shankar, Mr. Kadiri Shankar. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sadananda.
Good afternoon, Nandakumar here. Am I audible? Is my voice is clear?
Yes, sir. Yeah, people are saying it's voice clear.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We have got 48 people live right now. Maybe 3:02 or 3 we will start the event. And I think most of the attendees have got our communications through by an email or a WhatsApp or through our newsletter. Yeah, in fact, Gubba Seed News, our newsletter, we started in 2000, probably 2007, I suppose. Yeah, one sleepy afternoon, Prashant Gubba, who's a director technical, he said, let's do something different. And what opened up is a newsletter. And yeah, why we started a newsletter is if we talk about industry, people will listen. Else, if I talk about Gubba, people might check it out. Like it's a typical brochure. Yeah. So, and that is how we started. And today, we are happy that the industry is what you call accepting our newsletter. I mean, we have readership close to 12,000 seed fraternity, seed men and women. Yeah, let me call it as seed men and women because sometimes I keep telling people, why Seed Men Association when women work in our seed fraternity? And it's still known as Seed Men Association. I keep telling them, make it Seed Men and Women Association. Yeah, so we reach out to 12,000 direct circulation every Wednesday, 3 p.m. Deepti Gubba ensures that the newsletter reaches your mailbox. And why she chose an afternoon is, after post lunch and midweek, people have time to read newsletters. It seems that's the research. That's what she says.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
How are you? Live now.
Yeah, over to you, Deepti. I was taking on your center stage till you were here.
Thank you so much, Kiran, for that. So yes, so it's 3 right now, 3-1. And we have 70 participants who have joined here for the webinar. So it's time that we begin. So are you all ready for that?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I'm ready.
Great. Thank you so much. So a formal welcome. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the Seed Fraternity. I acknowledge each one of you for being here in this webinar. It is this time of the year that sowings are almost complete and the seed companies are juggling with the market returns. At this point, it is very, very important to retain the seed quality for future use. And hence, today we have this webinar addressing the significance of seed vigor in seed inventory management. I would like to briefly explain how this session would go. Our speaker, Mr. Nandakumar, will be presenting on the webinar topic, followed by a presentation from Mr. Kiran Gubba on how seed testing can impact the seed integrity, followed by a QA session, and concluded by a vote of thanks. Now, let me take the privilege to introduce our speakers. Mr. Nandakumar, Director Convenc Agritech Solutions, is an expert in the domain of agri-input business, including seed businesses, for over 3 decades, in association with reputed companies. Worked in top managerial capacities with companies like Advanta, Syngenta, and like. Experienced in implementation of ISTA accreditation, quality management system, environmental management system, and quality system auditor. Credited with many research publications and participated in various national and international conferences, symposia, and presented research and scientific articles, and had associated with programs related to crop development facilitated by ICRISAT, CIMMIT, and the likes. And coming to Mr. Gubba Kiran, Mr. Gubba Kiran is the CEO of Gubba Cold Storage, and he has been instrumental in creating Gubba Cold Storage from 0.7 million cubic feet cold storage to one of India's biggest cold storages today, with a capacity of 10 million cubic feet. With a passion to preserve perishables, Gubba Kiran has virtually become the face of Gubba for the seed industry. Setting up India's first private sector dehumidified cold storage is his brainchild. His core competency in finance has fueled the company in setting up 17 cold storage plants. He's also the backbone of Gubba Seed News, which is virtually the largest newsletter of the Indian seed industry. With that, I now hand over the platform to Mr. Nandakumar to start his presentation to our seed fraternity. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepti.
Thank you, Deepti. Thank you, Kiran. So I'm going to the slide share straight away without losing time. Yeah, good afternoon to all the viewers and listeners, my industry fraternity colleagues. Today we are talking about the significance of seed vigor in inventory management. It's very critical, and we are focusing on 2 or 3 important words which you may recognize. And before going to that, I wish to express my deep regards and thanks to a very wise initiative which has been taken by Gubba Cold Stores, both for Mrs. Deepti and Mr. Kiran. It is right in time, and this is a very important subject where we produce a lot, we send to the market a lot, and we receive back some. And between these words, there is so much of effort, so much of energy, so much of money which flows out. And how we are going to manage all this is important. And the success of this webinar, I would contribute to my team members who are there associated with me in my career, my mentors, and my industry colleagues who has always been my support. And fruits of this knowledge sharing is dedicated to the welfare of the Indian growers and the farmers. Today, I'm not going to talk on the vigor or the seed, but I felt when I saw this subject to address it holistically. So coming to the key words in the title of today's discussion is the seed, the vigor of the seed, then inventory of the seed, and how we are going to manage the inventory and the seed together. So if you start talking about the seed, which is the subject in the other three dimensions of our discussion, it depends upon the crop which we are having, whether it is a vegetable crop or a cereal crop or a pulse crop, and what are the genetics of those crops and how they interact with the environment or the agroclimatic conditions where they are grown, and the seed category which we are using. It could be the breeder seed, which is stored in cold stores and live up to about 10 years or 5 years. Could be the parent seed or the basic seed, which gets stored for at least about 2-3 years. And the hybrid seed or the research varieties or the OPVs, which get stored not more than about 6 months to 1 year. So there is a periodicity and there is a significance for the type of the seed which we are going to store, and also the category of the store, because it has got its own connotations in terms of its endurance, sustainability, and also utility in the seed chain. The seed chain, I mean to say, starting from the breeding to the time it goes to the grower's end, and he uses it for sowing and sees a healthy plant coming up. Then we talk about the vigor. The vigor and germination goes hand in hand. Most of us, we are talking technically when we are talking in the laboratories, we talk about germination. Whether the seed lot is germinating, is to the standards which are specified by the government or our own truthful labels. And often we don't talk about the vigor when we are testing the fresh seeds. We talk about the vigor only when the seed comes back and it is there in our lab, means to say it is there in our godowns. The another important factor, which by experience I can come back to you, is that the vigor we are seeing as a vigor and vigor of the seed, and seldom or rarely we get into the genetics of the vigor, how it is affected, how the genotype is going to affect the vigor. Is vigor is going to be a trait in our breeding programs? Is it necessary? So there is a huge lot of accumulation of knowledge over a period of time, and how this can be harnessed in inventory management, how it is going to impact the inventory management. Then vigor testing itself has been a challenge, and I do not have to say go deeper into it, because you have vigor testing workbook which is there, which prescribes many of the tests from simple to the complex to the biochemical tests. But one thing is sure, that there is no A test which says that you do this against these standards. I hope many of our industry colleagues have experienced the same thing in their routine quality assurance work or quality control work. We are going to deal all these things in detail in the coming sessions. Then we are coming to the inventory. We were told in our times, if you are keeping inventory, it's as good as keeping a big debt on your laps. So, but today the times have changed. Technology has come in. We are in a position to maintain the inventory, and inventory is essential. Like you said, daag zaruri hai, daag acha hai. But now, because Surf Excel is there, but now inventory is there. We need to have the inventory, but how? We need to have the inventory planned because of the seasons, because of the crop production cycles, and because of the production cycles and the sales cycles are different. Sometimes it spills over to 1 year, 1.5 years, and sometimes it is unplanned, because we plan for X quantity, but we may get X plus 2 quantity or X plus 1.5 quantity, more than what the percentage of leverage which is given to the supply chain or the production, maybe 10% or 15% or 5% excess, depending on the crop and the climatic conditions. But if we receive more than that, then it becomes an unplanned inventory. Ultimately, we have to hold it. We cannot reject it. Then we have two types of returns. One is the market return. Some companies have the practice of sending the material from the seed material from the plants, processing plants, to their warehouses elsewhere in India or to the consignee agents' godowns. From there, it may go to distributors, from distributors to dealers. Or in some cases, the companies may directly send it to dealers. So the market returns are one which goes and stays in the dealers or the distributors' place, which is reasonably manageable, if at all. And if the company is insisting as a policy that they have to adopt the warehouse conditions and management conditions, so in such cases, the CA godowns or the distributor godowns are relatively manageable. And to say that the impact or the damage is also less because of the phytosanitary conditions which has been taken up, the monitoring conditions the local staff does. But in case of sales returns, the material would have gone to the dealers deep into the villages or the tahsils or the hoblis or the districts, and it has stayed in the shelf for almost about 6 to 8 months. And just before the expiry date, or even soon after the season is completed, the returns would be coming up. Often what happens is that there are so much of human intervention, there would be a time lag between the gathering of this sales return information and the stock to one point and send it back. Usually it goes along starting from around the end of July to the end of August. So that comes in and the production plan has to be done linked to whatever the returns are coming. I'm enumerating all these things because it has certain catches which are attached to it financially, which are also important in terms of managing the inventory. So the returns which are coming from the field, that is the sales returns, would be more susceptible for the adverse conditions prevailing in those areas. And one more thing is that the companies which are sending these things to various parts in India might be or might not be having the knowledge of those geographical conditions and climatic conditions where the seed is going to stay for 6, 7, 8 months. So that's the reason inventory, though it appears as a volume, it has a dynamic approach in the field influenced by the dynamic nature of its handling and its preservance outside our control. Outside our control means the company's warehouses and our direct supervision of the stocks. So we rely upon what happens and how it is handled by the others. So coming to the management, how the seed, its vigor, and the vigor, the both in the inventory is managed. The main factor which influences the seed vigor is the warehouse, its location, and the conditions which are prevailing there, the maintenance of the warehouse itself, and the maintenance of the seed which is stored in, the conditions under which the seed is stored in, and also the locations where different types of seeds are stored in with different climate controls and handling of them. Because the fragile seeds are there, some of the vegetable seeds or maybe called soybean, the handling itself would lead to certain damages and decreases the potential of the vigor. I hope you have now got a bird's eye view of what are all the things which are important for maintaining the vigor in a seed, and how we carry on with the seed with a healthy inventory, and what are the best practices which we are going to have in management. One more thing my listeners and viewers. We are going to touch upon all these aspects with the objective that we assimilate and integrate the know-hows and draw a picture like how we are going to handle the seed to maintain its vigor. Because seed is a living organism. This is the first underline which we were taught when we joined the industry, but has got a suspended animation. It is not dead. The physiological activities are suspended but going on at a very low rate. And come the suitable conditions and the trigger of response to the germination stimulus starts with the imbibition, and the germination trigger happens. And once the germination starts, it's an irreversible metabolism. We cannot have a seed getting back into its own original status once the energy is lost. That's what we call it as the potential energy, the vigor, or the germinable vigor which is there once the sprouting starts, or even before the sprouting. You will come to know in the next few slides what are those triggers which are going to stimulate the germination and which are going to influence the vigor over a period of time. So the spent energy means over a period of time, it is the reduced vigor. So aging, as it is normal in any living organism, seed also ages. And one fact is that a poor storage leads to rapid aging. So aging is a common process, but we get, or even the seed gets aged very rapidly due to certain environmental conditions or the storage conditions or the conditions under which it has been produced. So the conditions under productions also determine the age of the seed or the storability of the seed. We are going to address it in the coming slides. So vigor and germ, I mean to say, I have shortened it for germination. The vigor and the germ goes hand in hand, and aging can be slowed down but cannot be stopped. So these are the facts which we have been informed, imbibed, and we take it for granted that we know it. But when it comes to handle the stocks, we face the challenges every day. What we have learned is every day in seed business, every day is a challenge, every activity is a challenge, and the seed behavior is such a challenging thing that even after 30 years being in the field, I'm not confident to say I know everything. So that's the status of it, and hope my senior colleagues are also of the same opinion. What happens if there is a change in the vigor or deterioration in the vigor, or the germination may become slower, uneven seedling emergence will be there, a weak or a poor plant stand is another resultant, or poor plant stand, I would say uneven plant stand or emergence, which leads to quality issues. The quality issues leads to customer complaints or customer unhappiness, and ultimately, because your germination and the vigor comes up just within about 15 days after sowing, the first thing which gets impacted is the sales. So whatever the window when it opens, unless we have got a very good germinating and vigorous seeds, whether it is a fresh production or the carry forward or the inventory, whatever we have, unless it has the capability of germinating, emerging from the soil, standing up to the vagaries, and producing a healthy plantlet for at least about 30 to 40 days. Till then, we need to keep our fingers crossed for the sales. So it's very critical. If a company starts fumbling in handling its inventory in one or the other crops, especially in a multi-crop market, if one brand is going In one crop, there is a complaint, the other crop, there is not, but the third season, something else. The reliability of the product or the seed, reliability of the seed and its quality and the brand will be questioned. So this is the impact of the vigor. So it is not only the yield factor or the tolerance factor or its looks or its economic returns to the farmer, but basically if it is not able to germinate and stand properly with a good vigor, this there will be a question mark on whatever we do, however we do. So now trying to understand vigor, I have put it's a triangle, seed quality triangle. And the vigor and germination, as I was talking about, is hand in hand, one superimposed with the other. And they are irreversible. Once it has started, we cannot stop it. We can only slow down. And vigor, I have just simply, in a layman's language, defined is the ability to establish into a complete plant. And there are indirect measurements for it, expressed in terms of a percentage or indices. However, there are no ISTA standards or ISTA standards for testing. But there are some recommended tests in some crops like peas. You can use electroconductivity test, cold test in case of corn, so on and so forth. I wouldn't go into detail of those plenty of tests which are there. And you have handbook of seed vigor you can refer to, and many are much more current than what I am. But what I have come to late understanding that still ISTA has not come out with a standard test or a recommended test as a assured test for vigor. There are plenty which goes with the experience of the handler or the quality lab or the business or the seed enterprise entity or the entity which wants to do a test which is okay for them and which is working for them. And some of the companies I would like come to later without naming them might have developed their own improved tests based on the existing test for vigor, and ultimately it depends on what they want to do. Germination is a potential to produce a healthy root and a shoot. Direct measurement expressed in terms of percentages, and ISTA has got standards for the test. There is a QA also for testing quality control of the substrates, etc. So we express morely in terms of germination in terms of percentage. I would like to say my view is the germination helps in terms of emergence, and vigor is the standability or the establishment of the seedling. If you talk about the soil test, it is the emergence number of seeds emerging out of the soil top, but we don't know how the roots are. Abulbaki and Anderson 1971 is a standard test which we are going to do for root shoot vigor indices, where we take the count of both the length of the root and the shoot of the root, mean to say the development of the root. And even the biomass, wet biomass or the dry biomass is also one of the tests which can be done, but there are plenty. So most of them have the academic connotations or interest. Then ultimately what happens, we are interested, the company as well as the seed enterprise or the farmer is very much interested in the plant stand, the robustness, impact, and its impact on the yield. So if we don't have a good seedling coming up, if we don't have a good plant stand, whatever may be the genetic superiority of the crop, because of the aging or because of the poor storability or whatever it is, the vigor energy would have gone, and it does have an impact on the yield. So here I'm just going to give overall, this may be elaborated. I don't think that a single slide is enough for making all the factors which are impacting the vigor. A fishbone diagram talking about the bottom line is the genetic and the seed structure by itself, genetics of the seed or the crop and the seed structure. It depends on what sort of endosperm it is. In case of maize, or in case of sorghum, or in case of onion, what is the structure, or soybean, whether it is an exposed embryo. So various yeah, activities, impacts like physical damage, permeability of the membrane, everything is going to impact the seed. And the crop husbandry, I meant to say the crop husbandry is how the crop is grown in its duration. It is not that it is not enough that I sow the seed and forget it, but how we are going to give the nutrition, how's the root system which is developed, how the crop is coming. Especially it is important for the production aspects where seed is produced, whether it is hybrid seed or the research varieties or the OPVs, how it is produced, and what are the crop husbandry methodologies or technologies which we are using, which directly or indirectly it is going to impact the vigor of the mother plant, and also its nutrition sink into the seed, and how rich the embryo is, how rich the endosperm is, how healthy the seed is to give a healthy germ and a healthy vigor. Pre and post harvest operations are very critical in terms of production, especially the hybrid seed, which are high value seeds. When I'm talking about the seed, please bear in mind, I'm talking about both the dicots, the monocots, the vegetable seeds, as well as the cereal seeds or the oil seeds or the legumes, all the seeds coming in, which has got their own specifications of handling as per the species or group of genera or species, and how they are handled with uh, the harvesting time, the maturity time, identification of the maturity, the moisture of harvesting at the time of harvesting, grain, the moisture of seed, moisture at the time of harvesting, methodology of harvesting, threshing, the threshing damage, the speed of threshers, and how we are transporting it, how many times we are handling a bag, how many times that is going to be fallen down, what is the drop test, how many drops which we are doing. These are all the things starts from the field until it reaches the plant or until it reaches the drying unit, if it is in case of maize in the current days. Then comes the seed processing, that how we are using, what sort of processing machines we are using. Are we are using horizontal ones or the vertical ones? Some companies may be having vertical ones. Bear in mind that if the vertical ones are not having proper cushioning, there would be a sort of minor fracturing which may happen, and the seed coat or the pericarp or the endosperm damage, very hairline cracks may also lead to the leakage of the electrolytes, and then there is an impact on the vigor. The initial germination may look wonderful. It may go on for about 2-3 months, and after 3 months, the seed which is supposed to store for 8-9 months may start losing vigor, and there may be a retarded vigor. So these are, and also the conditions in the warehouse. So if you see the top upper if you see the upper chambers, like the agronomy is one which is important, because if you are providing more of nitrogen, the plant grows, but the seed needs potassium and phosphorus for its growth. So the luxurious green vegetative growth may not be a sink for the development of the seed, or the, what do you call, the nutrient to the seed. So I've just given one example. Then seed moisture is very, very critical. I would say that I would rather handle seed moisture as an ICU or ICCU care, because unless and until we maintain the seed moisture to its required percentages or the standards, we will not be in a position to naturally control the aging process. Yeah, controlling the aging process by dehumidification, the cold store facilities, different cold store, different temperature regimes are different. But initially, which we are, if we are unable to manage the seed outside a cold store, and also its infestation, its healthiness by fungus or infection or infestation, then whatever the amount of care we take in the cold stores, the seed is not going to listen to us. And the storage condition, I was just referring to the pest controls, pest monitoring, then the humidity buildup, and the secondary fungi which is there, which starts multiplying without visibility, especially in terms of if it is Cladosporium, very, very innocent looking fungi, Cladosporium, Rhynchosporium, then a few Aspergilli. These are the thing, and more than that, Rhizopus species, they are very innocent ones, but they cause huge damage if there is a higher percentage of moisture within the seed and in the seed surrounding areas. Coupled with infestation, the trigger of infection also goes up, and in case of oilseed, it may lead to rancidity, which again is going to impact the germination of the vega. Yes, conditioning and seed testing is going to provide us some lead as to know at what level the seed is. What is the qualification of the seed when I'm testing? Whether it is living, whether it can be used, whether it is in a critical stage where we have to dispose it as early as possible, or we have to write it off. But we cannot do anything beyond this. Yes, there are certain procedures or the methodologies where we can invigorate the seed. Rehydration and dehydration is one. There are certain external chemicals which can be applied. If there is a small fungal infection, you have certain fungicides which also improves the germination, not directly physiologically, but by reducing the pathogen load, it enables the germ to properly respond. It is not that it is going to change the total physiological manifestation of the seed so as the germination improves. And it is the same condition with processing. In processing, you grade and remove the chaffy and the unwanted seed, but you are not improving the germination of the seed physiologically. You're only grading out the unwanted seed. The seed which is there graded is potentially having a higher quality. So this is a general terminology which we use. Say that after processing the germination, the utility of the graded seed improves by virtue of selecting the better seeds with a higher germination which is already existing. The processing is only a process, an activity which removes the dirt or the unwanted material or the low density seeds which has low germination vigor and provides only the good seed which generally has presumed to have higher germination and vigor. Now, we are coming to the inventory management and how it affects the seed vigor. I take up the process approach first because most of us, we jump in to see that inventory, we are scared about the inventory, especially when we attend the reviews, management reviews, when the supply chain reviews are going on, coupled with the business reviews. This stands like a nightmare. Like we have so much of inventory, what to do with that? Because it's going to affect your bottom line. Yeah, the quality complaints in the field is going to affect you the top line of your revenue, whereas the losses which are not seen, not felt, is felt at the bottom line when you get the year-end numbers. So when we go into the planning, one is we need to have a pragmatic market analysis of the competition, of what is really required in the market, etc., etc. There are very knowledgeable people in the marketing area. A lot of experience is there. So you can just guess what I am hinting at. Then you have to have a sales forecast. Yes, in our age, we were also very ambitious. We wanted to sell 100 tons, but whereas the market potential is only about 70 tons. I don't know whom to impress. It's all fact. Let's not hide it now. Whom to impress? get 70, get 100, sell 60, send 40 back. So the 40 back, I'm short of already my 10 tons of target. I'm adding that 10 tons to the returns, and the 30 is already an ambitious one. Rather, I would have given 75. Okay, I would have reduced the bottom line impact. So, what are the sales forecast? Of course, the monsoon, etc., is not in our hand. I agree with that, and we cannot give the same excuses all the times. We can give 100 excuses, but there is 101 which comes up new every year for not being able to sell it. So I apologize for my colleagues, because these are the things which happen every day, and it's not a fault. It's not a fault of anyone, but it's a tendency which we need to look, especially when we talk in terms of inventory and the bottom lines of our profits which is coming in. Then we need to have a prudent production plan. Knowledge about the producibility of the A or B lines are very important. Their stability is important. Then the restaurability is quite important. How good the parent seed, how good our basic seed is there, how its producibility, and how the hybrid is produced, or the OPV or the research is produced, and per unit how much we are getting, and where we are producing it, and what are the impacts of the environment around, and what is the agronomy. Because we may get a very high yield, no doubt, but what happens to the germination? I don't want to mention some of the areas in India of production. Some of the genetics doesn't suit in some of the area, and now today I think they have manipulated the production. I don't say the production season, but the production activity in such a way to minimize those impacts. But some of our experiences, our timers may know that some of the hybrids were not able to be produced, though it is produced, were not able to be to be stored for a longer time. And moreover, it is the achievable business plan. So most of us in the top benches of a management would like to go in for a business plan which looks ambitious, which looks achievable, but of all the risk assessment and all, are those plans are really achievable? That's a critical thing which we have to. Sorry. So, excuse me.
I'd also like to remind you that you have 5 more minutes.
Yeah, I think we run. Then we have the operation. The realization of the production targets should not be more. Infrastructure of processing, handling, and storage, we need to have the best practices. Quality testing and facility with the quality assurance of our testing is very important. Then QA at all stages of seed chain. It is not that the quality department which is directly responsible for the quality, it only passes or fails the seed lot, but the quality is produced through and delivered through. Then coming to the inventory, as I was talking about, the economics of COGS and COGM is important in terms of inventory and its value. Cost of quality inventory should be less than 10% as an ideal, but generally it varies from policy to policy, in the company to company. Then periodical testing of seed, all the analysis of the data which is and the interpretation, stock utilization and decision making is very critical in making the seed bigger. The in-house and outsourced testing capability and expertise is important. Please bear in mind outsourced. I mean to say that you have a very wonderful facility in Guba, seed cold stores, where they also have a seed testing facility. I have just a slide here. I think we can go through that. And people who doesn't have the infrastructure or don't want to invest in infrastructure can also outsource such facilities which are state of art and dependable and repeatable. So, and the labs are also been nationally accredited. So that's one of the things. Training and testing skill upgradation is very important, not only for the quality personnel, for all people who are interspersed or interacting with the quality directly, especially in the supply chain. I would state that sustained seed vigor is as good as seed saved and profit earned. So I was talking about the genetics. There are a lot of enzymes which are directly involved into the seed germination and vigor, like polyglucosidase, alpha amylase, esterase, ATPase, etc., respiratory enzymes. The enzyme and gene-to-gene linkage is a fact that vigor is a genetic trait and a genetic factor. So we need to keep in mind when we are doing our breeding work, select the best one with a reasonably good storability. Then higher the activity of such fungi enzymes are indicators of faster loss of vigor. Then soil conditions, day-night temperature variations, etc., in the production locations, which I have already told, are also the influencing factors for the seed vigor. Then you have germination alone may not be an indicator of vigor, but higher germinating need not be necessarily be interpreted as high vigor seeds. Again, it is linked to the genetics and also to the storage conditions, for example, oil seeds, which I have spoken about the rancidity, buildup, and etc. Periodic testing, data collection, hybrid variability, behavior of the hybrid, in vigor performance over a time lag period, which has to be studied. It's an academic process, but provides a lot of input for the inventory management and quality department or the quality control, which gets so much of data, has to be analyzed, put in place, converted into an information and knowledge, and shared in the management for better management. I have given some morphological characters for loss of vigor, and we ran through it. Split coleoptile, abnormal seeds, etc. You are much better off. Practitioners are much better off in it. Then you have germ and vigor is a time lag attribute with the diminishing values. It can be retarded but never be reversed. However, could be accelerated if you want to wish to make a faster loss. But I don't want to be negative. The contrary of it, by preserving it, you can extend the life of the aging seed. Seed processing and conditions, I have gone through it in my fishbone diagram. Didn't want to go into details. It's a misconception that seed processing, yes, is a misconception. It is not going to improve the germination. It's only going to remove the bad from the good. Seed conditioning, you have fungicides, seed immigrants, which can be commercially applied, but has a sheer shelf life, which can be stored, but under poor conditions can also provide contradictory results. So one has to be careful in that. So coming to the seed vigor, seed processing, some of those bullet shots are first in, first out, storage place hygiene, stock spraying, pest buildup, pest control, monitoring moisture, which was very critical, periodic sample testing, reporting and reviews are must, where we fail most of the times. Systems for own or outsourced warehouse services, the handling of it itself is a big challenge. Seedling vigor, seed and seedling vigor is critical. Seedling emergence itself is 0 to 30 days is important. 30 to 45 days is the establishments where the seed vigor is going to impact the entire crop stand, which I was indicating earlier. Low vigor, no uniform crop establishment, and we have all the problems on our hands. So we have the seedling vigor is critical for what? So seed high vigor can be stored for longer time. It gives a better stand, better yield. Then reduced quality liability. Rejections are low. That means to say our bottom lines are strong. Stock losses are reduced. And we have the improved profitability contribution from our side rather than the sales side, the revenue side. It also reflects the product quality. if the seed is not germinating properly or having not a good vigor, however good the product, it's not going to be saleable. So we need to ensure that the primary responsibility of any organization or enterprise is to maintain the seed quality to the satisfaction of the grower. I was just talking to you about what Guba Cold Store can do. They are already testing, providing seed testing. They have services outsourcing their services. They're servicing the companies. So you have the top 5 or the middle 5 or the bottom 5. But in my experience, many of the companies who are doing small turnover, who doesn't have a proper storage facility or a testing facility, they may have a testing facility but may not have the skill or the staff which are capable of handling that sort of testing intensity. So they can come and take the services at a very reasonable, what do you call, the prices or whatever the Guba is offering, and ensure that whatever they are selling is quite quality assured. And it has a capable team. Yes, in my previous visits, I have met them. I've seen their laboratory also. I was just saying small and medium-sized entrepreneurs are to be encouraged. We were also discussing yesterday that how to reach about. Probably we are going to discuss with Guba, like how we are going to promote or provide the customer service to the to the small and medium scale entrepreneurs. Of course, large scale entrepreneurs, seed entrepreneurs are already associated, and how it can be spread, and what is that development work which you have to do for the extension work for Guba to be done in the seed processing unit or the supply chain units for seed testing, storage, and how it can be integrated. So something new is happening in Guba also. We are very happy. So this can be done as an intellectual property because the data which is generated and how it is secured, analyzed, and then shared with a team of expertise with all the legalities taken into account, and make not only the seed company which is profitable by reducing the write-off losses or by storing it properly, but also cultivate a sort of cultivate a culture of doing a better quality assurance and better seed business in terms of overall quality. So this is just my Convinc Agritech. I share this slide with you. What are all the capabilities what we have? I don't want to go into detail. What I mean to say ultimately is the seed inventory, which looks huge as an issue, and the seed vigor is small, that generally we talk only in quality labs, but ultimately the distant one is the profitability, which we generally negate or we don't see. Anyway, something is failing. My job is to fail. It is failed. Somebody is writing it off. It is not my responsibility. Decision maker is somebody, but ultimately this affects over a period, on a longer period, the business and the business enterprise as such. So the seed vigor is a pivotal element in the seed business. Seed vigor is a pivotal element in seed business. Unless we understand it, handle it properly, and link it to our inventory, we can contribute to the bottom line to increase our profitability by handling the tip of the iceberg syndrome. We know only the problems above the waterline, but so many quality issues come out because of the germination and vigor, which are most of the time underwater, we don't see, or we close our times. So ultimately, coming to the conclusion, as a quality organization, it could be a vertical organization with silo approach or a lateral approach with cross-function teams, but whatever it is, accountability of quality assurance is everybody's job role. in the seed chain. So level in the seed enterprise, in all levels in the seed enterprise, care for seed quality has to be regarded. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Nandakumar sir, thank you so much for your
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
would request, sir, we have a lot of questions in the QA section.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can have that much time to address all the questions. So I suggest if you can address them in the question and answers through messages, how many ever you can. And the remaining one we can take at the end. What do you suggest, sir?
I would suggest two things. Let's not break now. This is my humble suggestion. Let's get into the next presentation. My suggestion is that let all the questions be taken up. I will answer each one of them and provide to you so that you can share with them. At the end of that's my promise. At the end of the session, if there are very important questions which are sometimes it may be repetitive, having the same connotation. There are, if you see which are the very important questions pertaining to storage as well as vigor, that I think we can handle it in the QA session.
Sure. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. So
hope it is acceptable to all.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Absolutely. It is doable.
Thank you. Thank you to my all viewers and listeners for your patience listening. Thank you. Thank you, Deepti, for providing me this opportunity. Thank you,
Yes,
Kiran.
thank you.
Thank you, Rajkumar, for enabling it. Yeah. Thank you.
And I now invite Mr. Kiran Hubba to continue his presentation, rather to start his presentation on outsourcing seed testing and sustainable future. Kiran, over to you. Nandakumar sir, can you stop sharing your screen such that Kiran can get that? Yeah, great.
So Gubba has been a synonym for the Indian seed industry growth, right from the 5,000 crore to 15,000 crores in the last, say, 10 years. And yeah, we set up our first private sector cold storage, a seed specialized cold storage way back in 1998. Then the seed industry did not had a specialized seed cold storage. And virtually since then, we became a generic name in the Indian seed industry. We grew with the industry, and the industry also grew with us. As I said, it has grown multifold. Yeah, we virtually became the generic name in the Indian seed industry. Gubba Kusot and Bijau. That is where we have gathered our name. Close to 300, 400 clients we have got across India in seed sector. We are very proud that any given point of time, we store close to 1 lakh tons of seed. Yeah, you heard it right, 1 lakh tons of seed. We store the commercial seeds in the small bags, jumbo bags of 1.5 ton jumbo bags, or a 2 ton jumbo bags, or foundation seed, the germplasm, which even goes up to 40 years. We have got a foundation seed where more than 125 companies store their foundation seed with us. The only cold storage on the planet where more than 125 companies store their foundation seed in Gubba. That shows the trust. And you guys, each and every one of you, each and every seed company whom we have served in the last, say, 22 years, more than 500 people have really shown that trust. We had the germplasm bank where we can go up to 40 years of preservation. Yes, you heard it right, 40 years. We give back the seed back to your second generation. And yeah, that's what little about Gubba. And yeah, this is what we keep saying. Yeah, and we're proud. Our team has caused this third seed lab in India to have a Enable accreditation. We are the third seed lab in India to have an Enable accreditation. Of course, we follow the ISTA principles. And in the last couple of years, we have got more than 125 seed clients. We've got a good technique, team in place. We have got the accuracy in place. See, setting up a seed lab is not a big deal, but the evaluations, the swiftness, the quality, the timelines, are the big challenge in the whole supply chain. And that is what I keep talking about. Yeah, this is our team, Atri, Ghosh, and Sultan, who test your babies ongoingly. Yeah, this is our view of our seed lab. Yeah, in fact, we have got 3 temperature zones to test, work in germinator room. Yeah, 2 to 8 for your corn, especially Rabi is around the corner. So we also do your cold test for your corn, where we have a room where we maintain a temperature of 2 to 8 and 15 to 20. 15 to 20, yes, few of you might be thinking about this 15 to 20. Yes, that's the vegetable seed, especially if you cold crops. We have the specialized walk-in chambers for these 15 to 20, and 25 to 30, you know it. And our team is what you call trained such that we give you the best of the solutions and service accuracy. This is a typical process flow of our seed lab, how we get the samples and give the what you call test back to you. In fact, for few of you, this facility is at Gubba M1, the first facility what we have started in Medchal. It's just beside that. This is a report of the seed analysis. Once the report is done, you will get this. Yeah, these are the few tests which we do. We also do the salt saturated accelerated aging test for seeds like onion and tomato. Very sensitive seeds, as you know that. And the accelerated aging test and the moisture test. Yeah, and we have a water jacketed accelerated aging chamber for precise results. Yeah, this is our quality team to ensure that system structure, the backbone, they ensure that everything is up there for you. And yeah, these are the few list of the clients. We have got more than 125 clients whom we keep serving ongoingly in the industry. Yeah, in fact, I wanted to keep my PPT very crisp and short because I wanted to give more time to Mr. Nandakumar and people who have come to take more value from him. In fact, I keep saying, a couple of times Mr. Nandakumar talked about the inventory. Some people talk about inventory like an atom bomb, right? There are a few women here, so I can't talk. We can't talk about handling a wife. Of course, it's equally challenged to handle a husband too. Yeah, it's as challenging, the inventory as challenging a wife handling a husband or a husband handling a wife. Yeah, but for us, handling inventory has been our bread and butter, and not now, since 22 years. We have passed the 22 Rabis, we have passed the 22 Kharifs, we have seen the 22 Springs, and so on. Any given point of time, as I said, we house a lakh tons or so. We might handle close to say 5 lakh tons every year, backed up with 22 years of expertise. We can handle. There are testimonials. Even after 5 years, the seed, even the critical seed, like say maize, still has life in it, and be up more than 90%. We have case studies that 90% of above germination. Even after 5 years, we had onion seed stored in our cold storage even up to 2 years, and still it's the best. And yeah, coming back, we keep talking about core competency. In fact, say 22 years ago, it just not the seed companies did not have money to set up a cold storage facility or a processing plant or a dryer. No, they didn't. They had tons and tons of money. Our seed companies are deep pockets. They have money. It's just that the world is going towards, and has been going towards core competency. Apologize. Core competency. Yeah, in fact, that is how we started. A seed cold storage. Because when we think about a seed cold storage, or when we think about a seed lab, our every effort, every inch of our focus goes into the best preservation technology, or the best germination or the best what you call testing procedures and giving back the accurate results on time. These, I mean, when you give your non-core items to us, like, I mean, seed cold storage or a seed processing or a seed lab, you can focus on your core competency, focus on your R&D, focus on your marketing, focus on your sales, such that that adds more value to your supply chain, more value to your bottom line. In fact, one of the biggest challenge where the industry, seed industry, is heading towards is the manpower challenges. Not easy. Like, and especially in that, put your core team, put your team size to your best, to your best chickens where they can lay eggs for you, and not to these non-core items. In fact, even in the COVID situation, we delivered. We did. In fact, we received quite a few inquiries from the seed people across India, but they had their own challenges in sending it to in courier. But whatever possible, we have traveled even up to 100 kilometers. Trust me, we have traveled to 100 kilometers to get 5 samples of seed during COVID lockdown of April. And that is where even we had fears, we had threats, we had emotions, we had our family pressures, even we had our team had all that pressures from the villages. Yet we stood and did and tested at what's needed for the industry. Before I wrap up, in fact, I want to acknowledge the people out there. I mean, the 131 participants out there, and the entire seed fraternity. I say we are also the COVID warriors. Yes, we don't wear a white uniform like a doctor's. Yes, definitely they are the frontline COVID warriors. We too are the COVID warriors. If we don't test the seed, if we don't process the seed, if we don't store the seed, if we don't sell the seed to the farmer, after 6 months, what will your children eat? After 5 years, 2 years, 1 year, what will your family eat? We belong to that critical sector where we didn't have the luxury of sitting and watching the Netflix. I'm not saying people are watching Netflix are wrong. No, they have that luxury. They're lucky. In fact, even in the entire lockdown of say April and May, all throughout, even on Sundays sometimes, we were on toes, managing what's needed from way back home. Of course, the plant people are not so fortunate. They have to touch the forklift, they have to bear everything and yet maintain the temperature. In fact, we did had a couple of challenges, a couple of times in a couple of our cold storages on operations. But during the entire lockdown period, we never ever had even one day that we switched off the cold storage. All during the lockdown, we did switch on the cold room to ensure that the temperature was there 24/7 for your baby's called seed. So really acknowledge, I'm so proud that I belong to this seed sector, which is the backbone of the Indian agriculture. Agar beans nahi hai to fasal kahan se aayega? And I'm proud that I'm part of that supply chain where I ensure that a farmer gets the best seed. It's an acknowledgement to all of you, to the seed fraternity and all the 130 participants who are there. Please do take this acknowledgement that you guys went through whatever you went through, your emotions, your family emotions and whatever, and yet stepped up and did what's needed for the nation, what's needed for the agriculture, what's needed for the seed industry, what's needed for your company, bearing everything. A bow to you for being that relentless, brave seed fraternity. Thank you. Thank you, Deepti. And of course, I'm available. I'm also available for questions if you have anything. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kiran. We have 32 questions, out of which 5. So total of 37 questions, 5 of which have already been answered. So without wasting time, let me quickly take questions. I would like to choose the question by Mr. Vipin Joshi. As Seed Vigor Index is not having any measurable unit, So during seed testing, should we consider uniformity in early emergence or go for root or shoot length? Which method is accurate and why? Um, Nandakumar sir, please unmute yourself. Yes, sir, please go ahead.
Thank you, Deepti, and thank you, Mr. Joshi. I was talking vigor. Generally, what is index? Higher the index is higher the vigor length method. That is Abubakri and Anderson 1971, which is ingrained here for the last 30 years, and we studied it, and it has proved. But it is time taking and labor intensive, and also the accuracy of taking the root truth. So that's one. And the second thing is many of my colleagues may not agree, and this stage we used to propose the seedling emergence test, or the rate of speed of emergence is another test which can be done. And this has got a rate of speed of emergence as well as seedling emergence of the soil. Either you use a sand tray or a sand bed or a Hiltner test, which brick bats which you are using. It again depends on what sort of density of the bricklets you are using, or the soil you are using, or the type of soil you are using. Some of the QAs are whether you use the sand or the soil or which sort of soil. This has got a connotation which comes not in the textbook but with experience. You please understand which market this particular seed is going. One has to have the understanding of what sort of age of seed is going to which market. That's one of the control points with quality assurance. And what that market has, what is the agronomic qualities and the challenges the market has, and when you are sending it, whether you are sending it early at the opening of the market, or the fag end or the middle of the market, or you are blending or whatever it is. So these are all the decision making points. So here again I would say that you go on practicing the test which is yielding comfortable results in that particular market, or overall for your aging inventory, which you have a knowledge of. What is the age, what is the percentage germination, and how the seed lot is behaving, or how the seed lots are behaving under different conditions. And if you have an accelerating aging test, you can also couple that, make your own prediction, and then send it. Ultimately, I'm a proponent of seeing and believing. If you have some space, and if you can afford to do a field emergence test, after doing all these indirect tests. So one more test of field emergence, we are doing it under not the lab conditions, under the at least the garden house condition or the greenhouse condition, or if you are doing it in your field conditions, semi-control. So that would definitely ensure your seed emergence quality to the when it is in the market. But bear it in mind, if the seed is aged in such a way that it is showing a rapid decline in its germinability, it is better take your decision of what to do with that. So hope, Mr. Joshi, I given more details than what probably you would be thinking about. Ultimately, I would like to put in one sentence that the decision comes, the test may be anything, but the decision is one which you have to make at your desk.
So the next question is from Mr. Damodar Paudyal. Is there any correlation between 1000 grain weight and seedling vigor?
See, Mr. Paudyal, you might have come across my statement of telling that the seed, when you are passing the seed on a processing bench, and if it is going through the density gradient, the very purpose of using density gradient is to remove the chaffy seeds and the low seed weight and get the good seed. sorry. There are, in some of the species, there are direct, sorry.
So we
In
can
some of the
pause
species,
for a while. You can have some water.
no problem. Even after having problem, I have this kick sometimes. So I'm not defining this question is not a kitch. It's very interesting. See, when there is no, there are in certain species, certain papers are there, which says there is a direct linkage between, direct correlation between the seed density and the vigor. And many journal papers are there telling that there is no direct correlation. But one thing is certain, a healthy embryo and a healthy endosperm is going to contribute vigor. However, the size of the seed, there is no direct correlation to the vigor, but the density, yes, not the weight. Weight and density are totally two different things. So 1,000 grain density is different than 1,000 grain weight. So let's make this a split difference between the density which affects or influences the vigor than only the seed weight. And in a layman's laboratory language, I would say layman's laboratory language, 1,000 grain weight do indicate, but if you remove that, check the density of the 1,000 grain weight, again you will get some seeds out of it. So that's what is going to determine your vigor. Hope I answered your question.
So you have got more than 30 questions.
No, Mr. Damodar's question.
Yeah.
So Mr. Subrat Sahu is asking, can seed vigor remain unchanged if the seed is stored in cold storage for a period of 12 months?
Just now, Mr. Sahu, you might have heard the presentation by Mr. Kiran. He is storing it for 40 years for the next generation. And it is possible to store it for 8 months. But again, I am underlining under what preconditions the seed is being grown, produced, and what are those pre-harvest conditions or the stress the seed has come across even before it comes to the store. It is like a runner who has done the heats and asked to run again 100 meters. It's like that. If the seed is already spent its energy in the field or during pre-harvest or post-harvest or during the transit or mishandled somewhere, and especially when it is coming back from sales, which we don't know under what condition it was, then it is difficult to store it for, you can store it for 8 months. You can reprocess it. You may lose higher quantity. You may get some quantity which has some life and which has some vigor, which we have to sell it within a period of time and sown within a period of specified time to get the results. Supposing you are going to keep that for another 6 months in the market, thank God, it's as good as gone.
I'll also add, in fact, Mr. Subrat. So, in fact, there are many cases in the past, say 22 years, where people even stored their sales return in Gubba and successfully sent it to market. They had some very good results in the market, and then they gave the feedback also. Even a critical seed like onion, sunflower, maize too. Of course, we don't have much of sunflower in today's world, but I'm talking about early 90s. We used to, early 90s, we used to store sunflower too. There's an old saying goes, I mean, jitna jhaad utna hawa. तो सर आप हमको किस तरह के मतलब सीड दोगे, हम उसी तरह से हम आपको we give it back. In fact, all our cold storage are 21 CFR data logger enabled facilities where even if we tamper at the end of the day, even if we wish to tamper, we know at what time and for how many hours we have tampered the temperature and the humidity. That transparent our data loggers, 21 CFR data loggers. Yeah. Over to you, Deepti.
Thank you. Sampath is asking your thoughts on the usage of accelerated aging method to predict the returns or storage inventory, whether it's going to add value or helps us out in analyzing the vigor predictability.
This is a age-old test, which is highly reliable. We recommend it, and I keep it short because there is no argument on that. Many companies are doing this accelerated aging, and now the salt tolerance test has come in probably, and there is some improved cold testing which has been done. Fine, but accelerating aging is one which fundamentally and philosophically also, you are challenging the seed to respire faster. The vigor diminishes because of the higher respiration, the higher amount of ATPase which is produced, and metabolic activity which goes on faster. So when you are challenging the seed for a higher metabolic rate, in spite of it, the seed is retaining its vigor or the capability to emerge out of the soil to produce very healthy root and shoot. Means to say it's a reliable test. You can use it. It is a bit cumbersome, space consuming. You can do few lots at a time. The entire process of test, I don't want to take it up now, but it's good. And we had also tried up, you are also doing thermogradient probably now, where you have multiple gradients, you are doing it. But it's in the higher one, specifications are more. It can be done for value added seeds. So again, it depends on which seed you are testing or which category of seed you are doing. So AA, not a problem, you can use. Reliable.
So are you there?
Yeah.
So the next question is from Mr. Vembu Shankaran. He's asking any information regarding the availability of seed vigor boosters that can be applied to the crop during seed development or maturation phases.
See, I don't want to be a brand ambassador here for something. There are certain chemicals which are there, and there are some formulations along with the fungicides. One very simple and common thing is observation. Again, it's an observation. If the seed laboratory in a quality department or a quality laboratory has done a mavestin treatment, and you can see that independent of killing the effect of the fungi, there is a physiological improvement of the, so, but you cannot watch for it. I don't say that all fungicides are systemic fungicides are good. For example, the salicylic acid, then ascorbic acid, they are known to invigorate the vigor of the seed. But the industrial application to the volumes what we are handling today, in case of cereals especially, is difficult. But in case of vegetable seeds, probably it is possible. But you need to go to the books, see, do some experiments, sensitivity tests, and then do it. And I have practiced in my own doctoral thesis and my studies. It has good impact. Especially the seeds, which are very valuable seeds. Sometimes they used in breeding and all, if you want to use it within very, very close intellectual properties, you can use some of this, but higher volumes, it is difficult. Even for parent seed, you can use it because the volumes are in quintals, you can manage it. But when it comes to tons, it is difficult. And also its compatibility with other fungicides and insecticides and other things. So I can only give it in code, but not, it's an academic interest as such, but no one is practicing as it is, as I know at least.
The next question is, in cold crops, which method is best to access seed vigor?
Cold crops, the entire presentation was there. We can do the cold test or improved cold test, whatever is there, which is new, which I am also not very clear about it. Improved cold test, no. Then the cold test is the one which is all the, it's a thumb rule, you can use it. You can also use EC, electroconductivity test, once it is standardized for your species, which you are using. Yeah. Because it gives the overall permeability of the seed coat, or even of the small seeds. Handling of small seeds is difficult. So EC is one. The leachets is directly linked to the vigor. So if the membrane integrity is loose, the leachets are more, so the vigor is less. So if the integrity is good, the leachets are less, everything is held inside, the vigor would be good. Unless if it is infected with the mycelial infection. Though it is inborn, but physiologically it would have eaten away the seed. Eaten away means it would have consumed the energy of the seed by virtue of the food for the mycelium of the maple. So that can be used, EC can be used.
Mr. Sharad Deshpande is asking, is seed vigor crop specific or varies from a variety to another within a crop species?
That's what I had given. What crop you are using, what category of seed you are using, what type of seed you are using, and what is the genetics of the crop you are using. The genetics is critical here because what level the metabolic activities of the particular crop or the seed is normally to the given environment. So I would say that the vigor, if you are doing an index, it varies. Root shoot length, if you are doing it from sunflower to maize to wheat to rice to onion, it varies. Likewise, your electroconductivity also varies from species to species because of the membrane integrity or the seed coat thickness or the endosperm richness or the exposed embryo. You need to select a common test. I cannot go in for a cafeteria type of testing in a laboratory. I have limited resource, limited people, and limited what do you call opportunities, and the time challenges are there. So and so many lots are coming in. So many product lines are there in one crop. So many hybrids and so many variants. So it's difficult. So it is better to adopt one test or two tests for. Generally, we do a vigor test only for the inventory purposes, right? So there you have only a couple of or maximum 2 or 3 or 4 crops which are there. A common test is one which can be used for all these things. It reduces our cost, time, and improves the efficiency as well as the output of vigor assessment. So all in all, I would recommend that we have one common test, reliable test, like you want to have a sanitary test or an accelerating test, or if it is a cold crop or a vegetable crop, a cold crop, you can have a cold test, like maximum about 2 or 3 max tests. Unless the seed testing laboratory is interested in some academics who wants to continuously improve, they can have one channel of self-interest of doing some on own interest. They can do certain tests, simple tests, which they can accumulate into their knowledge base or the experience base and use it. Ultimately, it is that the seed has to germinate and support the bottom line, not to fail in the field. Yeah, Mr. M.S. Deshpande, thank you.
So one last question for the day, because we are just ending on the end of the timeline. Mr. Balkrishna Upadhyay is saying, especially in coriander seed, the germination get lost very soon. Is it because of low vigor in seed?
No. It's a multiple thing. The thing is coriander, it is seasonal sowing is important. One, there got a sowing window. Number two, it is the acne which has to be broken in. Sorry for the taxonomy. If I'm forgotten a few things, please correct me later on. So when it is breaking up, there could be damages. The broken seeds are sown. So there could be damages. And when the thing is broken and sown, and definitely there will be the leaching effect will be there. So it's a combined effect. You cannot blame the coriander seed for losing it, losing the vigor so fast. And definitely the sowing period, the window which makes the thing very important. And I know that there are companies who have stored this for a longer time, even in ambient conditions. I don't say that, not more than about 6 months. But in cold storage, I think they have stored it for a year plus, still using it. There should not be any problem. So it depends on how the seed is stored also.
Yes, sir. I mean, as I said, like when we do have case studies where people, like especially foundation, I'm not talking about the germplasm. The germplasm is stored even up to 10 to plus or so. Even the foundation seed, which is in tons and so, we have case studies where people have stored even up to 2, 3, 4 years and then started multiplying also. Again, as I said, it's how you bring the seed at what level, when
And
you have harvest,
yeah,
when
you're
did you
talking about,
harvest,
yeah.
at what level you have harvested, when did you dry it, at how did you process it, and
Yeah.
how quickly you have transferred that into a cold storage, what is the mode of packing of the cold storage, and what are the conditions of that cold storage 24/7, did they maintain the temperature and humidity in that particular cold storage. Like today, I mean, if you look at in Telangana, I mean, last 5 days that the humidity is much higher, 95% outside. Yet still we have to maintain the humidity between 40 and 50%. So there are many factors which go into it. Yeah.
Especially you are talking after the foundation seed, I will go a step ahead of the commercial seed. See, in coriander, there are two things. One is the native varieties which are produced here and sold. And the other one is an imported, improved varieties which have been imported. So when it comes to the commercial seed, the seed germination vigor is more challenge, especially when you have imported the seed at a cost. The local seed you can send it to, if it is not germinating or it has a low vigor, you can send it to the market as a spice, as a condiment. But the imported one, it pinches you a little bit. So therewise, with regard to coriander, the first slide which I showed, the planning is very important. How much you want to sell, how much you want to import, or how much you want to hold for how long. So if we have that particular knowledge or the product behavior itself in storage and in the market, then I think we are going to solve many of the problems. And seed may not be the only challenge there. There are other attributes which are going to contribute to the challenge. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Upadhyay.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, sir. So now, well, we have now reached to the conclusion of this webinar, but not without thanking our participants. The kind of participations they have given us, we at a highest point, we had 140 participants with us. And looking at the kind of questions, 37, 40 questions, I'm sure like they have taken a lot of value from this session. And thank you, Nandakumar sir and Kiran, for imparting your knowledge, for sharing your knowledge such that the seed fraternity is benefited from it. And also, I cannot end this webinar without thanking Raj and Naveen for facilitating, supporting me in the back end. And it's a great experience hosting all of you for this knowledge session. Now, just for 1 or 2 minutes, for our understanding, can we invite 1 or 2 participants to share their experience about this webinar? Raj, I suggest you unmute few people. Participants, I request you to raise your hands. There's a raise hand button in the bottom of your screen. You could choose to raise your hand such that Raj will unmute you and allow you to speak.
And Deepti, it's a very good idea because ultimately सिनेमा पसंद आया नहीं आया दर्शकों से ही सुनना पड़ेगा.
Hello,
Dr. S. Rajendra Kumar is
can I
online.
speak?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Yeah. Sorry, actually, I am Rajendra Prasad, the Vice Chancellor of US Bangalore. Basically, I am a seed science man. In fact, morning I got this message. I wanted to join, but I had another webinar meeting up to 3 o'clock, but it was extended up to now. Just I could last moment I could see you, Mr. Ranjit. So I would like to congratulate Kiran from Guba Seeds and Dipti ji for such a wonderful program you are organizing. Of course, though I'm not fully because listen, but this is one concept, the seed vigor. Because I worked on seed vigor, it is most important thing which should be an integral part of our seed quality assurance system. And even in the standards also there should be some kind of parameter which should mention about the vigor when we are selling the seeds. That should be the policy issues, and we have enough data on those things that can be done. At least especially when we are selling the revalidation, when you give the revalidation merely based on the germination, under that situation we need to incorporate the vigor test, because we don't know what is the condition of the soil when we take up the sowing. Under that situation, this will be one of the good thing which can happen. I think Dr. Arun might have given a lot of vigor tests and on different situations. Really, probably I'll take some of the points which you have deliberated from my colleagues who have attended this meeting. Once again, congratulations for organizing this one. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, and we will be sharing the webinar. We have recorded the webinar and we will mail the link to you.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. Because I'm getting your, Gubba newsletter daily. So
Yes.
that way I can go through that. Thank you.
Yeah, in fact, sir, I mean, the lady out there, Deepti Gubba, is the person behind our newsletter, what you get every week.
Yeah. Okay, okay. Congratulations. I visited twice your Gubba when I was director of Indian Institute of Seed Science.
Oh, yeah, I remember you. I mean,
Okay, thank you.
Deepti, there are two more people, Deepti, Ashish Singh and Bindu Shri.
Raj, one more, please. And then we will end the webinar.
Yeah, Ashish Singh and Bindu Shri.
Vijay Kumar sir. Vijay Kumar sir, can you hear us? It's okay.
I think
Take Ashish.
Raj, you can take Ashish. Yeah.
Yeah. Ashish Singh ji, can you unmute? Ashish sir, can you hear us?
Okay, Raj, go to Ms. Bindu Shri. Yes, Ashish Singh is here. Yeah. Sir.
Very good afternoon to all. And I'm Ashish Singh. I'm working Sugata Seed India Private Limited. And this knowledge regarding inventory management and how to manage the seed vigor and what is the impact on the seed vigor is very helpful to us. And I'm sitting with my team, with my colleagues also. So they all are very interested and they're excited to understand and learn the seed vigor and the seed knowledge. Also, I'm very interested to so I'm interested to conversation letter with him.
Yes.
Minute disturbances here.
Yes. Binduji, please go ahead. You will be the last person to share.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am, for the opportunity to talk. Actually, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, I was very interested to attend this webinar. Morning itself, I got this message in our WhatsApp group. It was really helpful for me, being working in a seed industry and also in the quality sector too. So actually, I have one request. If you organize some other webinars on some basic concepts, like there will be some beginners. So if it is on some how to store in cold storage, or after harvesting, how many months we can store outside the cold storage, and then when we have to shift to the cold storage. Like, because there will be a crop after harvest, there will be a testing period to test genetic purity. Once if the lot passes means, then only we can keep it for storage for seasons. Before that test results, we cannot store it in the cold storage. It may not be economical also if we are not using that seed. So if like that, some minimum basic for beginners, it will be helpful. So if it is any sessions on that, that will be helpful for us. So it is just a suggestion from my side. And also, I am really happy you have given me the chance to talk in this webinar. Thank you so much for that.
So, Binduji, what you are suggesting is really good. What I suggest is do mail us your suggestions for the training topics.
Yeah.
We generally encourage seedmen and seed fraternity to share what they want to get trained in. And accordingly, we organize training programs and things like that. So you are most welcome. Please mail me the topics and we will take it ahead. We will take it for the next time. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And nice to see seed women in the world of seed men, Bindu Shri.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. I'm really happy to hear this word from. Actually, we have some coordination in Gubba too.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm happy to participate in this. Thank you so much, sir.
thank you.
So it was really very encouraging to hear from all of you. It really matters to us such that we get the feedback of how the session has been, whether you have really taken value or not. And yeah, I understand that many of your questions have not been addressed here live on the platform, but we will get that answered. Nandakumar sir and Kiran both will answer the questions accordingly, and we will share with all of you. Yeah. And with this, I would like to end this webinar, acknowledging and thanking each of you. Thank you. Special thanks to the speakers. Bye, everyone.
Bye. See you. See you. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.